rin Pardani Climate Action Figures.
Hello and welcome to the Pi edition, that is Season 3, Episode 1-4 of Climate Action Figures. My name is John Whidden, and this week on the show, all the way from Guyana, you get to meet Kim, who, by the way, is a math teacher, so she will get that reference. We always love to hear from you about the little things you do in your life that help the environment, so please keep sending them in via email or social media. Today's Quick Fix comes to us from Emma, if you remember, from episode 6, and Emma said, I bike as much as possible. I do not always take the quickest route. I often take the most enjoyable path. So thanks for that, Emma, and welcome, Kim.
Hello, I am from Guyana.
All the way from South Rupununi. Do I pronounce that correctly?
Correct.
Since we were talking about bicycles, tell us about bicycles in your village. Are bicycles a common thing?
Yes, bicycle is one of the common things in the Rupununi. Actually, I grew up riding a bicycle a lot to school every day, like 7 miles. So it's very common for us in the Rupununi.
Okay, hold on. Did you say 7 miles?
Yes.
Wow, that is a long way to go on a bicycle. How long would it take you to get to school to go 7 miles?
1 hour.
So 2 hours per day you rode your bicycle to school and back.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. You must be very fit.
When I was in school, yes, very much. I mean, that was one of the awesome times.
Do you still ride a bicycle?
Yes, I do at sometimes, but where I work, I am very close to work, so I just have to walk less than 5 minutes.
Now, Kim, I did a geography challenge with my students. That's an activity where they had to try to learn a whole bunch of different countries on Earth. And one of the hardest places for them to put on a map was Guyana. So we are going to put a map up on the screen right now for our viewers who are with us on YouTube. And by the way, you are the first guest we have had from South America. So thank you so much for your willingness to share this different perspective with us today. Since we're talking about Guyana, how would you describe the level of concern in your country in regards to climate change?
I would say they are concerned, especially in the Rupununi or in the communities. I mean, the organizations, they're creating these spaces for youths to be involved in climate change, to have actions and so forth. So I feel that we as Rupununi and as people of Guyana are concerned. Not everybody, but at least there are a handful of persons that are working towards climate. I mean, we all know we are facing the climate change together. We have seen the difference. I mean, I have attended 2 workshops on climate change, and I felt that's a start.
Are the people of Guyana feeling bad effects of climate change in terms of changes in the weather or storms or ocean levels or anything like that?
I would speak about the Rupununi. There is effects. We have 2 weathers. We have dry season and we have rainy season. So sometimes we get longer dry seasons, and then sometimes we have rainy season and rainfalls. I mean, it's different. What we are accustomed to before, okay, rain is going to stop at this month, at some time it change. There's only one solution, is climate change. Also, it's hotter than before. I mean, in a few years ago, I never felt the sun that way, but now it feels extremely hot.
Now, Kim, you are a member of the Indigenous community, correct?
Yes, I am.
And the language you used in your introduction sounded so beautiful. What is the name of that language?
It's Wapishana, one of the tribes in Guyana.
So is it a very common language in Guyana or just in your area?
It's common only in the South Rupununi, in the south of the Rupununi, because in Rupununi, the region I am from, the Wapishana is mostly in the south. you will hear that language.
In Canada, historically, there has been a colonial attitude towards the Indigenous community. And it seems like that is finally getting better, and we're moving toward reconciliation with our Indigenous people. And we are tending now to look to our Indigenous people to help us deal with climate change. Is the situation and history in Guyana very different than that?
That's a very good question, I would say. In history, we were British Guyana then, but in 1966, that's when Guyana became independent. Now, the government is helping the indigenous communities, yes, giving them what they call the LCDS funds, the low carbon credit, in order for them to develop their own community and also to work even to support some actions in the community.
A couple of weeks ago on the program, we spoke with Free, who has a connection with you that we'll talk about in just a minute. But Free is a member of the North American Indigenous community. And I asked him a question that I would like to ask you now. That is, should we be looking more to Indigenous people when we are trying to find solutions to the climate crisis?
Why I would say yes, because they are at the ground. I mean, they are in the environment because indigenous people, we use the land every day, either for hunting, for food, or even for materials for their house. They can also have a more awareness in the communities as well about climate and their actions.
It's interesting. Free also spoke about the land, and what he said was Indigenous people know how to take care of their land and their territories. So, would you agree with that?
Yes, totally. Because they know when to hunt, they know the traditional skills and so forth. Indigenous, they do have a lot of skills, and I agree. They know to use their land, when to use it.
Byron Tenesaka connected us with both you and Free because you were both former fellows from the Indigenous Youth Fellowship program. So thanks again to Byron for connecting us. How did you get involved with the Indigenous Youth Fellowship program?
I found them through Instagram. I was on Instagram and I saw their call for indigenous persons. So I give it a try and see if I can meet the criteria. And they give me that opportunity or that space to work, and it was really well.
Through that program, I understand you created a wonderful program that is geared towards creating safe and engaging educational spaces for Indigenous children to help them increase their knowledge of environmental issues. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Absolutely. Actually, they supported like what I already started relating to traditional knowledge and skills in Sand Creek, that's in the Rupununi. I just love to go in the fields, walk, and do nature walks. And while I was doing that, I decided to carry some students. It just started as walks, and eventually I combined and brought them as a group. After my first engagement with another organization, I continued with this. So they gave me that support in order to continue what I have started with the youths. They really supported me in teaching some traditional skills and also scientific knowledge. I am so happy that the students know how to continue, I mean, use set cameras, I mean, know their local words. I may say they know their words, but in their language, but not in the common names. I also help them to be their own leaders. I mean, give them little tasks within their group. So building them.
Since you were talking about your students, tell us about your current teaching and how you work with students now, particularly in regards to the environment.
I am a math teacher. I work in the day, I mean, to a certain hour in school, and then after school, I work with 30 students or more to teach them about our own environment, learn about their own local birds, and also learn about the animals live in the area, the mountain, and nature walks. I try to teach them to appreciate nature and also to help the environment. Little actions can also contribute to a lot, I told them. So, I mean, I try to teach them values of appreciating nature. I do weekly classes with them. So every week I meet them and we do have 1 or 2 hours together. And I don't only teach in the nature or outside, I also teach them some theory for them to learn how to research or learn about some other organizations in our region or in our country. Or also even about some birds or the other animals in Guyana, the giants. Mostly the things I teach with the club is based in Rupununi, like based in our home.
As a math teacher, did you get the pi reference at the beginning of the show?
Yes, that's classic. I'm going to use that my next introduction to my students and see if they get it.
Oh, perfect. I thought it was pretty interesting that we had a math teacher on season 3, episode 1-4, so that worked out well. Now, you mentioned small things are important. You talked to your students about that. What have you chosen today to share with us for your climate action?
My New Year's resolution, well, trying to continue it, is use less plastic and have my bag. If I have to go to shop, I should walk with my bag. Actually, I got inspired by someone with that bag, right from Guyana. She also works in the organization with South Rupununi Conservation Society.
And Kim, what gives you hope?
What gives me hope? When I see my students do the little things and also traditional knowledge, skills, also with modern technology or even scientific knowledge to balance that towards the same goals. Also, what gives me hope is seeing my youths in the future to be leaders. Even though if it's not all of them, at least some go into that field.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kim.
Thank you too. It's very nice to meet you.
Thank you, dear listener or viewer. If you know of a young climate action figure we should talk with, please let us know via social media or climateactionfigures@gmail.com. We will be back again next week, same time, same place, to hear from another climate action figure. Until then,
Go figures. Right?
perfect.
This has been Climate Action Figures. Our show is produced and hosted by John Whidden. Our creative consultant is Kayla McIntosh. Our theme song is Hawaii Vacation by Tavari. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Climate Action Figures. That's all one word. And if you have any other questions or comments that arose from this or any episode, feel free to reach out to us at climateactionfigures@gmail.com. And thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with another Climate Action Figure.